Have you ever heard a woman say something simple, almost insignificant, like, "time flies with you," and at the time, didn't pay any attention to it? Maybe you thought it was just being nice, a common phrase, or just being polite. But what if I told you that this phrase is actually a feminine psychological code disguised as a casualness? Yes, brother. Within feminine psychology applied to attraction and relationships, there are camouflaged verbal signals, little clues hidden in the words, that reveal desire, emotional connection, and even repressed attraction. And the scariest thing? Most men never realize it. This video is for you if you are tired of feeling confused, lost, rejected, or emotionally manipulated. You want to understand how women really work, without games, without guesswork, without that old feeling of being one step behind. The good news is, the female mind may seem like a maze, but there is a secret emotional route, and it starts with words. And this is where the key comes in: unfiltered female psychology. Today, you will find out the 6 most emotionally dangerous female phrases, because they seem like nothing but mean everything. They are said in meetings, in voice messages, in casual conversations, and those who don't understand them miss out on golden opportunities. Maybe you've even been tested by one of these phrases and failed, but that ends now, because in this video, you won't just hear phrases. You'll learn how to decode female behavior on a emotional and strategic level, like the 5% of men who truly understand what triggers female desire. If you are looking for real attraction, deep emotional connection, and strategic control of conquest, this is the moment to turn the key. Because from now on, you will see what is hidden between the lines, including what she will never tell you directly. And when you start noticing these phrases in real conversations, you will never react like a common man again. Not long ago, one of the channel's oldest subscribers sent me a message that has stuck in my mind to this day. He said, she would send me simple messages. She would say that I was funny, that she felt good talking to me, that I seemed different from the guys she knew. And I honestly thought it was just sympathy, friendship maybe. I never imagined that it was a sign. I never thought that behind those phrases was her desire for something more. And then he added, the worst part is that she expected me to act. She expected me to take action. But I didn't do anything. I just stood there. And today, she's with another guy. It destroyed me inside. When I read that, I was silent for a few minutes, because this isn't just his story. It's the story of thousands of men who watch this channel, men who see women's words as something direct and literal, when in fact, within feminine psychology, messages are loaded with hidden meanings, emotional tests, provocations that are not always declared, but are deep. And perhaps you are now remembering a similar phrase you heard from a woman, something that seemed simple, but left you with a strange feeling of doubt, of a lost opportunity. And that is where the danger lies. Because the woman who says something subtle to you, but keeps her gaze, who mentions a seemingly silly idea but then disappears, she is testing your emotions, your reading, your intuition. And if you fail this test, she feels it, and she gives up. Comment here if you have ever experienced this. You can, even just write, "It has happened to me," or "That phrase brought me down." I want to read it. And you can be sure, you are not alone. This video is for you. And what comes next will open your eyes. And now that you've started to remember situations that seemed harmless, but left you with doubts, it's time to open your eyes to the phrases that reveal, in a subtle and silent way, what a woman feels and wants. Because what she says, almost always, is not what she means. And when you start to understand this clearly, with emotional intelligence, you leave the position of an ordinary man and start to occupy a place that few can, that of a strategically emotional man, the one who deciphers feminine codes and responds with presence. Let's go between the lines of feminine language now. And it all starts with a classic phrase, "You're different from other guys." It sounds like a compliment, it even sounds polite, but in reality, it's a test, a psychological test. The woman who says this is provoking you to show security, consistency, trust. She wants to know if she can take off her mask with you, if she can show the side of her that the world doesn't see. She wants to know if you're trustworthy, not in the obvious sense, but in the emotional sense. A man who hears this phrase and tries to explain himself, or makes a joke, or changes the subject, loses points. The right thing to do here is to let her feel that you understand what is behind it. Look her in the eyes, be silent, reinforce it with posture. The next phrase comes when she says, "I don't even know why I'm telling you this." This, my brother, is one of the most intimate doors to female psychology. When a woman says this, it's because she's feeling something different. It's not about what she's telling you. It's about the emotional space she feels with you. It's about the type of energy you're provoking in her. Here, the connection has gone beyond the rational, and this only happens when she feels that you are an emotionally present man. The mistake here would be to interrupt, rationalize, or seem eager to interpret. The right thing to do is to demonstrate presence, listening, and active silence. Show that you're not just listening, but absorbing. The third phrase is even more enigmatic. You should have a girlfriend. At first glance, it seems like just a neutral comment, but it's not. This phrase carries a trigger for comparison. She wants to know if you are desired by others. She wants to feel the social value that you carry. And at the same time, she wants to provoke you a little. It is jealousy disguised as a suggestion. It is desire wrapped in a test. She wants to know if you will justify yourself, if you will respond with pride, or if you will maintain the mystery. Men who have mastered female psychology understand that when this phrase appears, the best move is to respond lightly and with a firm gaze. The woman does not want the answer. She wants the emotional reaction that the answer provokes. The fourth phrase is a classic of the female unconscious. With you, time flies. Here, she is giving herself up without realizing it. Her emotional body is reacting to yours. You are creating an emotional bubble where she loses track of time. This is one of the greatest indicators of real connection, presence, and psychological involvement. And the most curious thing, many times she says this with surprise, as if she did not expect to feel this way with you. When this happens, you do not need to exaggerate your answer. Just look, confirm, and maintain the mood. That is where the power lies. The fifth sentence is more delicate. I don't know if I trust men, and yet she keeps talking to you. This is a very deep emotional test. She is telling you about her history, the wounds she carries, but she is also giving you a chance to be an exception. If you react with justifications, you lose. If you react with judgment, you lose. But if you respond with empathy and firmness without trying to please, you activate something rare: female emotional respect. This opens an internal path where she begins to project security in you. And finally, one of the most dangerous and at the same time revealing, if I were your girlfriend. This sentence always comes in a joking tone, but it is anything but a joke. This sentence is an invitation, an opening, an emotional hypothesis. It is the safest way she has of putting forward the idea without committing herself. She wants to see how you react. If you dismiss it, she backs off. If you exaggerate, she closes herself off. But if you maintain the tone, respond with intelligent humor, or a look that confirms without saying anything, she feels that you understand the game. And this silent understanding is magnetic, because few things are as attractive as being understood by a man without having to explain it. If any of these phrases have ever been said to you, comment below. You can write exactly what you heard, or just say, I heard that and didn't understand it at the time. And if you've ever answered any of these phrases the wrong way, you can share that too. This strengthens the community of men who are awakening to the ability to read women's emotions. This channel is a safe space for you to become that man. Let's continue, because there's more. Now that you recognize these phrases and are beginning to understand what they really mean within female psychology, applied to attraction and relationships, it is essential to learn how to respond. Because the mistake most men make is not in hearing the phrase, it is in responding like a nice guy, the one who tries to please, who reacts in a needy or superficial way. The man who does not read emotions responds on impulse, seeking validation, or wanting to prove that he is different. But the real power lies in responding with emotional depth, with presence, with language that provokes curiosity. It is not about responding right or wrong. It is about showing subtly that you understand what is behind what she says. When she says you are different from the others, the average man responds with a simple, thank you. But the man who understands female psychology responds with intention. Do you notice that in me? Or do you feel that with yourself when you talk to me? This response takes away her emotional control of the situation. She is confronted with her own feelings, and this creates connection. The woman feels that she is dealing with someone who sees beyond the surface, and that's what she's looking for, even without saying it. Comment below if you've ever responded superficially to one of these phrases and regretted it later. Write, I was that nice guy, or I need to learn to respond with more presence. I want to read your experience and use it in future content. Now that you understand what lies behind these seemingly harmless feminine phrases that hide clear psychological signs of desire and emotional connection, it's time to take the next step. Because understanding what she's saying is just the beginning. What really sets an emotionally strategic man apart from the rest is his ability to observe what she does. In the next video, I'm going to show you the 4 physical gestures that a woman makes when she wants something more from you. Gestures that aren't obvious, but that reveal that her body is already reacting to yours. These signs are silent, but extremely revealing. And if you know how to identify them at the right time, you'll be able to anticipate her intentions and take control of the situation without having to force anything. This is advanced emotional reading, it's female psychology applied in practice, and it's what most men ignore. And that's why they're rejected or put in the friend zone without even understanding why. What you've just watched is a piece of a much bigger puzzle. And if you've made it this far, it's because you know you're ready to learn the rest. So, pay attention. In the following video, you will discover how these 4 gestures reveal not only her emotional interest, but also her physical desire for you. And when that happens, you will no longer depend on luck, confusing messages, or mixed signals. You will know. Comment below which of these phrases you have heard and didn't understand at the time. Or write, "Now it makes sense." I want to know how far this message has reached. And I want to see who is truly ready to master female psychology without a filter. Let's go on this journey together, because it is closer than you think.